haircut. I think I'm gonna cut my hair today. Yo, good morning, beautiful ladies, wonderful gentlemen. It's a little brisk today. It's in the 50s, 60s, but it's a nice day still. The sun is out. We might need some rain soon, but it's good that we don't have rain because people don't want to be wet. But the trees, the trees need and the grass need a little bit of love too. Everybody need a little love. Yo, today's topic, I'm going to talk about childhood stars. And when we think about childhood stars, most of the times we thinking about like entertainment. We thinking about like actors and singers and rappers, dancers. But my story right now is about childhood stars in regards to sports. When you look at sports, you look at sports as like a form of entertainment as well. And when you look at sports, folks, you look at sports as the fact that you look at sports as being a venue that entertains people as well. Well, my man used to be used to be, but my boy, we grew up as athletes, all of us. We grew up as athletes, but my boy, he made it. And to make it is a beautiful thing when you make it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's weird. I'm doing a live right now. I put myself in the corner and dude look around being nosy. And then another dude come around and they just start making a whole bunch of noise around me. It's like, dude, why you around me? But childhood stars, I'm in the neighborhood. I guess I'm a star, A star is born. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway. So as we go deep into what this topic is about, childhood stars, I want to talk about childhood stars. And we're not talking about like singers. We're not talking about dancers. We can talk about them. But I'm talking about a homeboy I grew up with who became a star in the basketball league. Now, we grew up, when I say grew up together, I'm really talking about like 11, 10, 9, really grew up together. And we grew up together playing in the parks. He had a brother, I had a brother. You know what I'm saying? Our other boys, they had brothers. So when we grew up in the neighborhood, we grew up deep. We all lived in the neighborhood, Me and my brother was around this corner, and then we had 4 or 5 other dudes and their brothers, they was around the corner. And then up the block, 2 other brothers, I mean, we was deep. We all was brothered out. We all have brothers. And the sad thing about it is that me and my brother and I, we was the lucky ones because we the only ones out of all of them that really had a father too in the household. So when I'm talking about childhood stars, I want you to understand that I'm about to go into a deep rabbit hole. But I want to tell you a little story about my childhood friend that I know, and you know as well. He's a star. And if he was standing right here right now, and I put the camera on him, he would grab me and say, "You were supposed to make it too." He would tell you right now that I was supposed to make it in the major leagues. I was supposed to have been a baseball player, really an all-star baseball player. If you standing here right now, he would confirm it. And he made it to NBA. So that's not hearing from a person from the streets. That's hearing from a professional who grew up with me and would vouch for me and say, no, Don should have been in the major leagues. He would have been crushing everybody. He would tell you that. But I ain't going to speak on him speaking for me. I'm going to speak on me speaking on him. Childhood stars, because we're going to go into a rabbit hole. Sometimes we are protected, okay? Being a childhood star, sometimes God will protect you from the evils, and I'm going to that deep rabbit hole. So let me do a little bit of conversation about my boy Rayford Austin. Rayford Austin grew up in Southside Jamaica, Queens. You know what I'm saying? He grew up in the Towers. American Towers. That was the building that he grew up in, American Towers. American Towers was like the Taj Mahal, you know what I'm saying, New Jack City. You know what I'm saying? In that movie, New Jack City, American Towers was that shit. And some. So if you don't know about South Jamaica, Queens, and if you ever go there now, you'd be like, oh, it's so beautiful. But even back then in the 80s, you know what I'm saying, it was nice. It was a nice place to live. But you wouldn't even know that building right there was New Jack City. And my man Rayford, Skip to my Lou, grew up in that building. Shout out to Skip. Okay? Yo, what's up? What's up with you too? Pen, whatever your name is, Pen Guguran. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I want to talk about my man Skip because he was a childhood star that really needed protection. Because in his household, He grew up, actually, Skip grew up with his father. You know what I'm saying? His father was around. He was around. I remember his father coming to the baseball games, you know what I'm saying? Cheering him on, cheering him on. And Skip was on my team. My man Ray Frost, and he was on my team, so I had to make sure that he was good. Everybody was on my team. They all grew up in our neighborhood, and we all grew up with each other, and we grew up playing with each other just in the streets. And then when we decided to go play Little League, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we was all kind of like on the same teams, but then if we wasn't on the same team, it didn't matter. But we was on the same team. He grew up with, it was Damien and his brother, and they played on the team. And it was Rafa. Ramar was always a little more, Ramar was a little bit more, on his own missions, but Ramar was around. Shout out to Ramar, you know what I'm saying? Ramar, I am so proud of his brother Ramar. Okay, I'm so proud of Rafa's brother Ramar because he did some time in jail, but he did a turnaround with his life, and he became he had one of those jobs working as DHS, not DHS. The kids, the police that come and get the kids and stuff like that. He was working there. I don't know. Last I heard, he's going on 10 years. I'm so proud of that dude. 10 years with a job, you know what I'm saying? And so hopefully, he retired, he could retire with them. And hopefully he's doing okay, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Because like I say, in the streets of Southside Jamaica, Queens, growing up in the early 80s, 90s, late 80s, 90s, you know what I'm saying? For us young guys, 11, 12, 13, 14, it was not easy. Just like in your city, it was not easy. But the temptation is what I'm talking about. So when you're a child and you actually have some type of talent, but you in the city of hell, getting into the world, getting into that world, getting into that network, getting into that limelight, getting in that spotlight, the NBA floor, getting on that stage, the Apollo, getting anywhere where you now become an icon to folks. If you're not grounded and stable, it can tear you up. So we're going to talk about childhood stars, because I could have been a childhood star, folks. My sister could have been a childhood star. And God protected us, and we didn't know that we was being protected at the time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you don't know that you are being protected when you're being protected. Protection comes from unseen powerful forces. Have minds of children lean into the right courses. Okay, folks? So when you don't understand where this energy is coming from, when you get older, you will say, thank God. Well, let's go into Grateful. Let's go into my man Skip, because shout out to Skip. I am so proud of him, because I was watching on YouTube and I seen him come across my timeline, and you know what I'm saying, I'm watching him play. He played against LeBron, shooting threes in LeBron's face. I wish he was around for us to hear the stories, man. He wasn't around, man. Once he left the hood, it hurt. We wanted to know. And then I went away to college. I'm a little older than him, so I was already in college. Then he was in Fresno State. I was so happy. But it was just that Rafa always had a little problem because, CeeLo was a game to play. CeeLo was the gambling game in the streets to play. Everybody was playing CeeLo. Everybody walked around with their dice. You know what I'm saying? It was dice all in the street like crack bottles back in the days. So gambling was an issue, you know what I'm saying? Trying to take the next man's money. We used to gamble in the house too. We did everything from shooting coins to, rolling CeeLo. So yes, it started just with us and then branched out to the bigger money. That's why I don't gamble. I don't gamble because of that. Because of learning at a young age that, life is a gamble itself. Childhood stars, when you have no guidance, is a road to disaster. If mommy's too busy working, trying to make sure that you have food on the table, daddy's not around, and you are now a victim of the streets with talent. Guess who becomes your uncles? The guys who know how to make the money. The guys who know how to put you in the various things so that they can make money off you. One of our coaches back in the days, Mr. Vaughn, he was about like 6'4". giant. Actually, Umar Johnson remind me of Mr. Vaughn, to be honest. Now I think about it. I haven't spoken Mr. Vaughn up in years, but now I think about Umar Johnson and Mr. Vaughn, where they was like the same height, same shape, same voice. Okay? Mr. Vaughn was well respected in the school, but although Mr. Vaughn can get on your nerves. But once you get past Mr. Vaughn not getting on your nerves, Mr. Vaughn was cool. But Mr. Vaughn used to host basketball tournaments. Okay? Mr. Vaughn used to do basketball tournaments. And as Mr. Vaughn did basketball tournaments, he was in the Baisley Park, 40 Park, you know what I'm saying? These are the hood parks. And back then you had Fat Cats, you had the Supreme Team, okay? Like I say, I'm talking about back then when it was really crazy, folks, but you still watch on YouTube to this day. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens. I live right in the heart of all that. Me and my brother, the brothers around the corner, the brothers around the corner, the brothers up the block. That was our neighborhood, yo. So getting the mix anywhere from Baisley from Baisley to Liberty, Brick City, you know what I'm saying? Bricktown, we call it Bricktown. And 40 projects. Folks, and American Towers was on American Linden. American Towers was his own entity. Okay, folks? So you had Baisley up the block. Linden and Baisley. Right up the block. Linden, Baisley, I think it connects. Then you also had 40 projects down the block. 3-4 blocks down the block. Then you had Bricktown around the corner. And then you have American Towers, folks. American Towers was its own project. It was one building, folks. We always had to battle the Tower Boys, you know what I'm saying? We always had to battle the Tower Boys. The guys in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? All the brothers and everything. We always battled the Tower Boys. That's how the Tower Boys and us became real cool, because we was all family in the hood, you know what I'm saying? The Towers was deep. Deep, I'm trying to tell you, deep. Childhood Stars, I'm going to Childhood Stars because I'm trying to lay down the foundation for you folks. So, when you got the drug dealers in the neighborhood, and they hustling, and they gambling, remember, Mark Jackson grew up in this same park. Anthony Mason grew up in this same park. These are all basketball players, legends. The gambling, the hustling in the 80s, it stemmed out to us. Because we are the pawns, so you can gamble and hustle with the pawns, okay? So when they start gambling on the games, and they was gambling on the games heavy, what you think the ruck is all about? And so they gambling on these games, and these coaches involved too. What's wrong, y'all? I'm talking about coaches that's in high schools and shit like that. This is their operation. It's always been their operation. Childhood Stars, folks. Pimping Childhood Stars. You know how much money was made off of Rayford Austin? And all he just wanted to do was play basketball, get away from the towers, get away from all the corny dudes in the hood. Everybody trying to be thugged out. Get away from his family drama, get away from his own craziness, his own chaos. Damn, I ain't gonna be able to do this live too long because got charged up this battle. I'm gonna do a part 2. But I'm gonna rock this out. So as Rayford was growing up and he was playing, you know, in junior high school, 40 projects were down the block from us. Okay. Mr. Vaughn used to do the basketball tournaments, and he was murdered right there on the spot. He was beat to death. He died in the hospital because of one of the guys in the neighborhood. I actually knew him, grew up with him. Okay, but he was a little kid too. But he like I say, the project. I ain't going too deep into it. If you know the story, you know the story. But if you don't know the story, little man said something, and Mr. Vaughn got his ass beat because of a call. He was a ref. And he ain't come back to school the next day, and it bothered us. But then come to find out he died. It really hurt. He was like the core to the school. He kept the kids together. He kept the kids straight. Kids liked him. We played kickball. Now he's gone because of basketball and childhood stars. Another childhood star. This kid, he grew up in the ghetto. He grew up in the hood. He grew up in Basie, and he was a childhood star because his family was the drug dealers. And he was a kid. Used to always come with gold chains on. He was the kid. He made the call and Vaughn was dead. Okay? Everybody knows it happened to everybody's face. So, childhood stars. So this guy, Rayford, wants to play basketball. This guy on the sideline wants to make the money off the basketball. So when you have that going on throughout life, gambling is an issue. So Rayford, shout out to Rayford, he played the game, he also played the streets, but realized that he might have a chance. Sinclair, I'll get his name right, Sinclair, but Sinclair, he stood behind him because he needed him. He needed Rayford. He wanted Rayford to succeed, but he needed Rayford for him to continue to succeed for the program, the basketball program. Fast forward to me real quick. When I played against Rayford School, Rayford played in the high school Cardozo. Cardozo was one of the feared schools because it was known for its programs. It was in Bayside, white people neighborhood. It was known for being a good school. It was known for taking care of their students. And Rayford went there to play basketball, and I played against their school playing baseball. In my first year of playing against Cardozo, they had scouts coming at the games. I mean, they had these big white boys, their pictures. It was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I was a sophomore. I was a freshman. But you know how high school starts 10th, 11th, and 12th. You also have 9th grade. But in my junior high school, we went all the way up to 9th grade. So instead of me being a freshman, I went in high school as a sophomore because, 10th, 11th, 12th. But I was a freshman on the team. So I'm a freshman on the baseball team, and they going in. They talk about how we going to take this Lost Mountain. I'm 13? 13, 14, 14 the most. I think it's 13, you know what I'm saying? And so they talk about how we going to get smoked. We're going to take a loss. Oh, maybe 14. I'm trying to remember the age because I want to get it right. Oh, this guy going to smoke. I'm like, yo, aren't you on my team? So why are you telling me this? Why are you telling us this? He said, that's what it is. We just about to go to school, take this loss. But this was coming from a guy that's been on the team for years. They had to lose the spirit. He was now a senior. He's just a loser. I don't like being around people like that. So I basically, went to the corner of the van. I just tuned everything out. I zoned on to what I had to do. So the first inning, the first three batters, they all struck out. I batted fourth. So when the other team, Cardozo, went up, they scored 7 fucking runs in the first inning. So now it's 7-0 in the first inning. So you already know the spirit of my team is done. And I come up to bat next. I'm batting fourth, you know what I'm saying? And so I already knew that this punk ass white boy's gonna throw a fastball because I'm gonna challenge him. Who this little black guy batting fourth? You know what I'm saying? So I already knew he's gonna come challenge me with the fastball. So he came with the fastball, me being a pitcher and a hitter. I knew the fastball was coming, so I smoked this fastball over the gate into the girls softball team, softball field. Boom, second base. So I hit it outfield into second to second base on the girls softball field, about like 450 feet. I wanted to get the age right because I wanted to let you know I hit the ball like 450 feet, easy, on the fly. Childhood stars. The scouts saw that shit. They packed up like, oh shit. It messed up that boy's chance when I smoked him. He was so mad the next pitch he hit me. But that was Cardozo. Rafer would let you know. So Rafer now is playing for Cardozo, the high school team. They do, they do well. He do well. I remember he came against my team and he scored 30-some points, and people didn't know he could shoot. The boy can shoot his threes. So when he went to NBA, they talk about, oh, you made the game-winning shot, the three, when you become a shooter. He was so humble when he answered, and I loved him for his answer. But that dude been shooting threes since he's his kid. The game winner at the buzzer beater. We practice that in the park all day. 5, 4, 3. We do this. So shout out to Rafer for rising above in occasions. I really wish he could have won. But here he played against LeBron. He played Michael. He played Kobe. He played with Yao Ming. He played with Tracy McGrady. He played with Vince Carter. Rafer's the reason why these guys was nasty. They was nasty, period. But Rafer made them even nastier. My boy, childhood star. Now, just with him and his story, like I told you, the poverty, the hood, the drug dealing, the family, the lack of fatherhood, and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go too much into his family, but the family grew up with, like I said, that was the Taj Mahal. That was the New Jack City Taj Mahal, whatever that shit was called. The only sad thing about it is that, yes, he became victim to excessive gambling and drinking. I don't know too much about drinking, but I think the drinking was definitely an issue, but definitely excessive gambling. That bothered me because my boy, who at the time, we was the older ones. He was the street guy. He grew up with the Supreme team from McGriff. He traveled with them. He was part of their little team. You know what I'm saying? He was part of their little entourage. He was down since being in high school. I went to college. He went to the streets. So when I came back home and everything, and we linked back up, his brother, Rafer's brother, was like, "Yo, we need you because we need you to protect Ramar. Not Ramar, but Rafer. Skip to my loop because he be in the gambling spots a lot, and there's a fear." How you doing? There's a fear. There's a fear of him getting robbed. Like not for real, but for real. You know what I'm saying? Robbed for real. And that was, an issue. Because childhood stars, say they've been watching Skip since he was playing in the Rucker, since he was part of N1. His rise of fame into the NBA. Now he's back in the hood. He's getting the gambling spots. You know what I'm saying? So the hood love ain't right. He's in Harlem. He's not from Harlem. We from Queens. And Rafer's mouth is out of control. Rafer is funny. Rafer crack jokes at anybody. Rafer fights anybody. Rafer's one of the skinniest, smallest motherfuckers out there. But he gained his little weight as he went to college. He gained a little weight when he got to the NBA. But Rafer was still always, to me, the little skinny guy. But like I said, he went from childhood, he went to the childhood friend, and now he's in the point where he's needing a little help because he likes to go out and party when he comes to New York, but he can't be out there like that because of the fact that people's out there to rob him. Now I'm talking about Rayford on the level because I'm just so proud of him, but I'm going to bring childhood stars and just use one of my friends that when you look at that, their lives look at the grooming that took place with these childhood stars. When you look at the grooming that takes place with these childhood stars, and you say to yourself, why? Who was there to protect them? How did this happen to them? Why they allow this to happen? It's because they don't have protection. They don't have a community behind them. They don't have a family truly behind them. And nor do they have the corporations really to be behind them. Everyone wants to exploit childhood stars. The greatest thing about Rayford was the fact that he was, he was a star in being an athlete. See, athletic childhood stars has a different role, except for when it comes to these females, like the gymnasts. You know what I'm saying? They growing up high school and they being touched, all these the females being touched. You know what I'm saying? But with the guys, you know what I'm saying, we can become a childhood star from the sports. But it's when we get into the major league, when we get into the NBA, when we get into the NFL, when we get into the limelight, because you're still a childhood star. You're 18 years of age, 19 years of age, getting a big contract. You're still a child. You came from the rough roads. You had no guidance. You came from a soft background. You had no real guidance. Once they see that you don't have no protection, they gobble you up and you become that child all over again. You go back to that second grade nature. You back at being a second grader. When you have no protection. 18 is 19, 17, 16. If you're in the entertainment as a singer, actor, and you are around a different group of people. See, like I say, being an athlete, if you're around straight men, you could cruise coast. But in that industry, you're around a lot of Looney Tunes. You're around a lot of fruity cakes. Because that industry is founded on that. Their industry is on the foundation of the alphabet soup. And because their industry is on the foundation of the alphabet soup, if you are a child and you go into that industry, you have a 90% chance to have a story. My thing is, the people telling these stories and revealing these stories, who are they? So with this whole childhood star shit, we got to look at all the people, like the Corey Feldmans and Corey Hames. They came out and they was telling the stories and and losing lives. Why? Because they was telling the truth. That world is way different than the athletic world. I say way different because the chances is much higher. It can happen anywhere. It can happen in your school, happen in your church. But when I'm talking about percentage wise. So now we look at childhood stars. We are trying to force and push our kids into becoming a star on YouTube, putting your babies on these lines. That's not good. Putting the camera in front of your kids, and by the time when they're children, then by the time they're 5, 6, they think they're supposed to always be in front of a camera. And people have been watching them growing up, and you don't know these people on the other side, these subscribers. You don't know their intentions. And they've been watching your child grow up for years, and they think they know you and your children. A lot of people are setting their kids up to be prey. We have to protect our kids because childhood to be a childhood star is not built for everyone. Everyone's not designed to be a childhood star. Everyone's not designed to be a star, period. There's a lot of females that want to get into it, and they not even children. You know, they going into the teen adulthood, and they almost young adult. But it's not made and designed for everyone. That's why, as this industry is crumbling because of what is done to childhood stars, like Raven Simone, like Orlando Brown, like Michael Jackson. How many people seen Alicia Keys on Bill Cosby's lap? I've been talking to you guys about that for 10 years. Alicia Keys sitting on Bill Cosby's lap when he had all the kids sitting in the lap, and he was like, bounce his lap all. I was like, whoa, because they straddling on his leg. That's not cool. And then he was grinding and rocking the roll and back and forth. I was like, and bouncing and I was like, yo, that looks not cool. And this is me being young watching the Cosby Show. So this industry is not really built for everyone. There's monsters in it. It's designed to turn people out. And if you're not protected, and if your parents is drug addicts, alcoholics, because a lot of these people who's in the entertainment world, their parents actually are drug addicts. Their parents actually are alcoholics. Their parents actually are fucked up abusers, but the kids made it. A lot of them. So like I was saying, most of the childhood stars, they're not protected. And most of the parents, they are really addicts. And they're looking for a way that they can sell their child into the system so they can profit off it. A lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people do know it. What the hell happened to me? Get the charge up the phone. That's a bad producer. My bad. You gotta have your stuff, fully charged before you get on these chats and on these live streams. So my apologies. It's just that I was watching the videos early this morning when I was looking at my man Rafe. I'm just so proud of him. Childhood star. He made it. I wish that he could have, been able to come back to the hood and do much more. I wish he really, I actually tried to get him to, you know what I'm saying? I really tried to. The time I did come across him. But at that time, he had, he was in his own little zone. I really wish that, I could have got to him. Actually, I was trying to get him to be one of the sponsors and the faces of the basketball tournament I wanted to do was Rep Your Hood. And I wanted him to, be the face of it. I guess, he just knew a little bit too much about contracting and all that other stuff. There was going to be a problem. He was too much of the superstar at that time. But if it was me, the roles were reversed. I definitely would have held my hood down, man. So someone asked me, how do you make money off of you? Like I said, you know what I'm saying? The gambling, the betting at that time with being kids, you know what I'm saying, was something that a lot of people was doing with the basketball. The basketball is heavy. A lot of people's coming down watching the baseball games, but baseball betting and basketball betting is just a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So your question, I don't know how silly it was or how real it was, but when I was talking about that in regards to that. So I'm just gonna go through some of your comments. Hi, okay, let's do this. Okay, I don't know what that means. Let me get this guy out of here. Yeah. Thanks for the first thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Give me a like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, those likes do be making me feel better. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give a thumbs down, that's on you. But give me that like. If you didn't subscribe to that channel, we do need those subscriptions. right now, I want to now tie because my phone is charged. It seems like it's going to hold. So I guess I'm gonna continue this for a little hot second because I want to get at least to an hour. So I got like 14 more minutes. So with my man Rayford Austin, Skip to my Lou, he played for the Bucks. He played for the Miami Heat. He played for the Toronto Raptors. He played for the Houston Rockets. He played for Orlando Magics. The teams that I know of, that I can remember. When he got that contract, when he finally got that big contract, and that's when he was with Houston. He had the party. He did the party in Manhattan, and we was all there. You know what I'm saying? We showed love, and it was just so funny watching this woman. She's a community activist, right? She was a community activist, and she was preying on him. And she's from Queens. A lot of people has been saying her names because, like I say, the way it was so disturbing. Because this is the first time I seen her outside of like the hood. This is the first time I ever seen her in the event, and it caught me way off guard. But then I start putting shit together. Like, oh, she is a piece of work. When I'm talking about childhood prey, like I said, this is my boy. You know what I'm saying? We grew up together, so I'm at the party with his brother. You know what I'm saying? We all met up and we went to the party together. This is when his contract party, when he got his big $20 million contract, we was at the party. So it was disturbing for me to look up and see this community activist, because like in my community at this time this is like 2000 something, so now I'm more in the community activist role because I started my youth program in 1998, Project Pick Me Up, a long time. Tried to get him to be a sponsor. He was too much all over the place. As you see, all these he was really all over the place. So and I actually see now he was never really stable. But I wish we would have stayed in communication. I wish we had really stayed in communication. I wish I would have been able to stay in better communication with him. But this woman, she was a prey, and a lot of people was going to her because her name was always being mentioned in regards to doing things in the hood. Because her mom's was part of the boards and this board and that board, so she had a door open for her. But she was also a little beast. When I listened to her tell her story, she said, she grew up. Remember, I'm talking about in the 80s now, in the early 90s, when all the big drug dealers was out and they was younger. Understand? Younger. This is her era. These are her peoples, her peers. So when I heard her story, I heard how she was that bully bitch turned community activist with ties to the streets. When you put it all together, you see that a lot of these politicians allocate funds to street folks. That's been going on forever. If you look at the 70s in Chicago, they gave $1 million to the gangs to run projects. So when the Furtado brothers came out, they formed an organization called the King of King Foundation. Got $500,000. So a lot of these for stopping the violence cause. So a lot of these people was preying on individuals like Skip, preying on people like Ja Rule to become part of their programs. Okay, this was going on. This was going on. So it disturbed me to see her at my man's party in Manhattan. I was like, what the hell? And she running around her little dress on, something tomboy she is, running around her little red dress on. Cooning. And like I said, I'm watching because this is my dude. I'm just watching her coon around him. Cooning just to be in the pictures, cooning just be in the spotlight, cooning sit at the table with the dude. I'm like, we here with him though. And we not even on it like that because we on the outskirts. One, because we watching. There's family in the house now. So we watch. It's a different ball game. We ain't really there just to be celebrating the celebrity. We there because this is our fam. You know what I'm saying? We happy and proud for him, but yo, we gotta keep an eye out what's really going on. And so I'm watching this woman be a predator. I ain't say sexual, but just be a predator. Because there's a lot of predators. We just put the word sexual, but take away sexual, there's a lot of predators that prey on childhood stars. They want to be part of this sneaker. They want them to be represent this company. They want them to understand. They want them to sign this contract for this. They want them to represent this for this cause. They want them to stand up for this cause. They need to be a face for that cause. This woman, her way of a method was to get as many of the people of the borough, mingle with them, know them, get them in there, her book, and then get them to support her youth program because she's supposed to be stopping the violence in the community. Just so that she can get the community funds. See, we talk about childhood stars. We're going all over the place because childhood stars don't always have to be molested. Childhood stars don't always have to be touched and forced into situations where they are destroy damaged goods when they get older because they've been, used and abused. Childhood stars are stars that are preyed on for the benefits of others and using their struggle to move ahead. Rayford Austin, like I say, if he had more and better guidance, he would be a name that's being mentioned to this day because he made the NBA on a different path. He was the face of a different league because he couldn't get into the NBA. He represents true path setting. He was a path setter. He was a trendsetter. And one, that and one, that push with the and one, and just being part of that whole and one project and touring the city. That's what Rep Your Hood was supposed to be. Street anthem music, yo. Stay with the boy. I told you, if he was standing right here right now, he would say, yo, Don should have made the major leagues. Why you think I still can drop down, do 100 push-ups, and my abs and everything still fit at this beautiful age? Why you think? Because I was that athlete. I just didn't have the guidance when it was needed to keep pushing, the motivation just to keep going. Because like I said, I grew up in that same neighborhood as they. The only difference, I had a mother and father. Father would whip my ass. But we still all had the same economic woes. I grew up in hard times. We grew up, we had great times and good times. No one would really think that we was poor. We had cars all the time. We was always traveling all the time. We lived in a house. But that's the life that of the 80s and 90s. It was not easy. And so not having money is always and always and always and was always an issue. Umar, pay me my bread. You really don't want me to get mean, I'm telling you. I'm just scared to go to jail at this age because I don't have it in me to be there. You really need to hear my story. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens. I grew up in the era and around a lot of individuals. I can go back and find somebody and bring them out here to do a little quick job for me. But I be chilling because it's kind of more beneficial to be talking on this phone right now to be able to relay this message to you. Stop playing. Growing up in hardship for any man is not good. For any boy, it's not good for him when he grows up to be a grown man. And that's why Umar has these issues with his life, because he's at a point where he believes like he could have been and should have been some big star. He should have been some number one this and number one that and bestseller this. So that's his mindset. That's his childhood starhood. He believed that he's supposed to have this, and he grew up thinking this. And then when you add that Marcus Garvey thing to him, now he's just thinking he's the god of the consciousness. So he's going to study and study and study and study and study and study. So Umar Johnson actually really thinks that he is the Michael Jordan of this shit. But Umar Johnson don't get it. That Michael Jordan played against and played with many greats. And if you're going to be in this game, you're going to have to learn how to play this game. Don't play the game to officially lose when you're playing against other starving people. You grew up in Philly, you grew up in whatever life that style you lived in. You said you've been through the shelter system as a kid. I never been through the shelter system as a child, so it's like I don't know that. But what I do know is growing up in the house when your lights are turned off, your heat's turned off, your phone's turned off, your water's turned off, going to your grandma's house to get water so you can bring it to the house. I remember all those things. So you don't want to be messing with people like that who's not just ground level people, they're kingly people. And they know their position in life. So from childhood star to another childhood star, I'm telling you, rise to the occasion and do what's right for 2025. And I guarantee you will be able to do much greater things because you're going against a childhood star. Now let's get back to our entertainers. Because I was talking about Alicia Keys. I want you to go to Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys was groomed by Bill Cosby. Childhood stars. Alicia Keys was groomed by Bill Cosby, and people. I mean, no one's really talking about that. I done did a few lives and then spoken, but maybe I just need to do a major. I want to get my laptop, but if I can do a real good live on that itself, Bill Cosby, Mr. Jello Man, Jello Pudding Pop Man, that was always spooky to me. And because I was a revolutionary black dude, I didn't really want to go against him on that. But yo, folks, I always said, yo, that's not cool. And for some reason, I was connecting dots even back then. Like, yo, what is this all about? So when you get into the high, and when I got into college and I got a little bit into the, understand, got some Illuminati information, I said to myself, like, damn, he's part of it. And this was their way of really giving him a check to do their dirty work. Because Bill Cosby, when he did his little animation with Fat Albert, they seen a perverted gold mine with that, and they gave him the door of, oh, he's the children's man. He's the children's man. He's like Big Bird. They made Bill Cosby become a big bird, but behind the scenes, he was grooming children, childhood stars. That's my theory, but I grew up in the era, so I watched it. I watched the commercials. I watched how they gave him. I watched how they kept catapulting him to another levels, making him become the family guy, the dad, as he got older. But technically, he was the teacher of grooming. Now, I could be 1,000% wrong. Because according to Eddie Murphy, when Eddie Murphy said that Bill Cosby called him up and said, he wanted him to stop all that cursing profanity that, you doing your stand-up, Richard Pryor said, shut the fuck up. Well, he said, tell Bill to have a coke and smile and shut the fuck up. But excuse me, the bottom line was the fact that Bill Cosby had access to too many children. Lisa Bonet, Raven Simone, Tempest, Malcolm Jamal Warner. And when you look at Raven Simone and you look at Lisa Bonet, they came from the Cosby Show. I don't know what Bill Cosby had to do with their level of going the direction that they went, but if Bill Cosby was anything, well, I don't know. Maybe he was at this point in this time in life. Maybe he was making those changes, and he was trying to keep them away from stuff, and then maybe that's why they just went astray. Who knows? They probably went astray because they just wanted to rebel. He probably was trying to save them from some shit. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Maybe Bill Cosby, after he realized he was used, and they threw him away, especially when he couldn't do that collaboration with Oprah and get the network. Maybe he realized, let me just become a better fatherly figure as I ride out. Hopefully, this don't catch up to me. But I don't know. Bill Cosby's situation was always nervousing to me. So it leads up to this whole Diddy situation, grooming these kids and making childhood stars. And that's why I want you to understand the childhood stars don't always necessarily have to be sexually abused. But in this case, right now, we are really focusing on the sexually abused now because that is a major problem. And it's always been a problem. And I'm telling you, with the scariest thing is going to open up the real world. And we're going to really have to fight. It's going to come a point in life where we're going to have to fight because our children needs protection. Because everyone wants to get a contract, everyone wants to put them in the movie, everyone wants to find that new Michael Jackson. And that's what I was trying to tell you. While this world the industry is coming to an end, it's important for us to realize that there is going to be, the industry never leaves. The industry will always be there because talent is always wanted. So because of that, it's imperative for us to really start manipulating our own system. We have to start manufacturing and manifesting our own system, creating our own Hollywood. I don't mean use the word, but you know what I'm saying? We have to create our own base, our own foundation, because Babylon is crumbling, as they say. The towers are crumbling. And as this industry and all industries, it's going to reboot itself, but it has to have something in major competition. And your boy Dame Dash is really on it. Dame Dash is trying to get the folks to, flip flop over on that side. We need to really start looking at Dame Dash and flip flopping on that side to give him that support, because if that's going to be a base that we need when this industry falls, we already got the foundation. And if he made Jay-Z and Jay-Z say, well, make another Hove, folks, help this man out. Everybody's now, of course, we know everybody did their dirt. We know everybody's not clean. But at least he already is on the side of like, yo, I'm already over here. I already told you this shit was gonna happen. I've been saying, yo, we need to do us. We need to be our own CEOs. Because if we are going to protect our children and our little young ladies from these predators, because there's always like they say, you're looking at the top, you're trying to find top level people, but the most scariest ones are the ones that you would never know exist. The ones that you would never know that exist are the most spookiest ones, because they looking for the next what's the not come up, but they looking for the next connect. if I was selling drugs, or if I was selling people, if I was doing human trafficking, and and I was a driver, and if I was a recruiter in some manner, and I recruited hundreds of them. We do it by partying, we do it by drugging, and I was never caught, but they caught the drivers, and they caught the head people, and they caught the head peoples, and the celebrities. I'm just looking for the next link because that hustle continues on. And so the most important thing is to really break down the whole thing all the way down to the little people. We have to find the little people because, like I say, it's just going to keep popping up. So the only way to combat the situation is, like I said, to set up a whole new industry, and that way we can save our people. A&Rs won't be predators. We got to eliminate a lot of the situations that we have, but we have to really recognize there's a problem. So childhood stars. I just hope that me talk about my man Rafa and bring his little story to light about the people that you grew up with him, that truly knows him, nothing but love and respect. Even though, like I say, he wasn't able to get back to the hood. Me being a brother, me having my brother, and him having his brothers, and the brother. Look, we all know. One day, hopefully, we all can come back and we can all politic again as brothers. Hopefully, I think, I think most of our brothers still alive. You know what I'm saying? And just share one big hug. You know what I'm saying? And say, yo, we made it. We made it. We made that half a century. We made that half a century. And that itself is a good look. You know what I'm saying? I would love for us to all just be able to say what's up again. You know what I'm saying? On one level, on that same level of where we were when we was in the 86 and 89, and you know what I'm saying? In 95. It's like, yo, we gotta find our brotherhood again and build our corporations, build our industries, build everything based on brotherhood and manhood, and get rid of all the dirt bags. We gotta get rid of all the scumbags. We gotta get rid of all the low lives. But we have to focus on a problem. As long as we keep saying, "Well, I'm not gonna worry about what people do in their household," that's always going to allow the problem to be. This person said this. I don't know why they put this. My name is Travis Bernardini. I am 33 years old, and we need Donald Trump to be our president of the United States of America. Then this person said Kamala Harris. What she say? Kamala Harris or Trump? Oh, okay. So they asked Kamala Harris or Trump on my live. Well, let's talk about childhood stars. I'm glad you went to there. So let's talk about that, being that you want to talk about this right here. So let's look at childhood stars. Kamala Harris was, we would say, a childhood star, and Donald Trump was a childhood star, right? Donald Trump, I think he would give more props to his father than Kamala Harris would give props to her father. I don't know. I'm just assuming Donald Trump's father, I believe, was in Donald Trump's life a little bit more than Kamala Harris' father was in her life. Just a little bit more. I'm only going to assume because Kamala Harris always bigging up her moms, bigging up her moms, bigging up her moms, bigging up her moms. Everybody know that Donald Trump's father gave Donald Trump $1 million. So I think Donald Trump will give praise to his father a little bit differently. So let's talk about childhood stars and bring that to the deep rabbit hole. I was watching on YouTube this thing about cloning. Okay, I was watching about cloning. And I was so deep into the whole, looking, trying to find the rabbit holes, trying to connect these dots with this cloning stuff. That I mean, they deleted a lot of the channels I was watching. They deleted a lot of the videos. A lot of videos that I watched on certain things, a lot of those videos are gone. And this is I was watching them in like 2019, 2018, 2019. By 2021, I couldn't find those videos no more. And those people that I was watching, they actually became more known. They were known, but after I started watching them, they really became known. Because I was, 2 years go by, I'm like, damn. So I was watching this thing on cloning, and they was talk about all the people who's cloned. They was talk about why the wrestler got killed, and then Bernie Mac stood up and he spoke up against them like, yo, come on, this shit got to come to an end. You can't, Chris Benoit, in how the killer clowns from the killer clowns, the artists, they actually was the murderers of Chris Benoit. I was really watching a whole lot of this shit, putting everything together, all this conspiracy stuff. And Bernie Mac spoke out. The next thing you know, Bernie Mac was killed. Bernie Mac was killed because he spoke out against Chris Benoit. And Britney Spears, she's been used and abused. They've been doing her so dirty. That's why she kept making those videos and exposing it. Britney Spears been exposing the cloning shit and cloning and the sexual predators for a long time. But people just got caught up in the fact that Britney is Britney, that they wasn't hearing Britney for what Britney was really, really spewing. And so I was watching this one video, and it was Donald Trump's daughter. Well, it wasn't her daughter, but it was a guy talking, and he was talking about how she they all clone, but she was talking about how she was saying we got to get her father in office to become the president because he's going to take down this whole corruption. Okay. A lot of people want to speak out about it. They want to speak out against it. That's why right now with this whole Diddy thing, everybody's holding onto the cards and they wait and they trying to see what's what because they too scared because it's way bigger than Sean Combs. This is like I say, they need leaders for the tomorrow. So Sean Combs is like a dean. Don't get nothing twisted. But he's not the president of the school. He's a dean. And everybody gets scared to go to the dean office or have the dean go against you. But he's not the president of the school. So that's what we got to understand. So a lot of these people that they most of 90% they clone, 90%, 99% they've been MK Ultra, and they all have a role and a position in place in society to do various things. And if one is to recruit kids, to bring kids into it, so that kids could be groomed, recruit drug addicts, recruit alcoholics, and then do studies on them, and get them to sell their kids over, and then into this industry. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of positions for people to apply for. And with this childhood star shit, we got to really understand that that's the problem that we're facing. And if we're not grooming ourselves to be better individuals, we're in trouble. So going back to Trump, according to this guy, said had to get into office. That's why I knew Trump was going to get in office because without the videos I was watching. This was when he was running against Hillary. And this was where he was campaigning before he became president. I already knew because I was watching these videos and I was putting everything together because, like I said, me being a conspiracy theorist since 1990 something on the Illuminati, I was like, yo, it's deep. And right now we're the future of it. So I know everything that we see right now is playing this position. We just have to put it together. If you were a person who's been paying attention to this whole Illuminati shit, New World Order shit back in the 90s, back in 2000, I'm going to say 90s for me. I'm older. So it was early 90s for me. So 30 years later, I'm looking at what's going on right now, and you can actually put it together. You was back then when it was beginning and going on, and now you see it for what it is. You're like, oh shit, oh my lord, we in trouble. So what I'm saying to you right now, when it comes to childhood, your children, protect your kids. Do not send them out to the world. You don't want to. You only want them to be on this shit because they will get a call. So Donald Trump was supposed to have been the president to end the cloning situation and to, as he translated, drain the swamp. Because when the videos I was watching, it was so about nothing but reptiles and the reptilians and forgot the name of people. Oh God, I gotta do my homework. But those reptilians, damn it, what's the name of those reptiles? Can't remember the name of the reptiles. But until about Queen Elizabeth, all that shit. But you don't hear that about Harris. I don't hear that about Harris. I seen those videos with about Trump would be the person to stop this cloning situation, to fight the deep elites and the deep states, but not Harris. I don't hear nothing about Harris or Biden, okay? Because Biden was running. I don't hear, but I've seen many videos of Biden groping young girls. I've seen tons of videos of Biden touching women inappropriately. They might have heard Donald Trump say, "Grab her by the pussy," but I've seen Biden touching little girls' breasts like this. I'm like, yo, he didn't just do that. I've seen many videos of him touching the necks, touching the face, kissing them. Like, yo, dude, you doing a little bit too much. So in regards to that whole that what y'all asking, was just putting up on my thing. I can comment about it and give my voice and my opinion. I even seen a vid. I even seen a picture. Now we know it could have been photoshopped like a motherfucker, but I seen a picture of Kamala Harris bent over. Did y'all guys see that picture? You could tell it's like in one of those oval rooms. You could tell it's in one of those presidential rooms. She had like a blue dress on, something like that. She was bent over with her ass. Now I don't know if it was Photoshop or not, you know, but that was a picture my man showed me on it, like, yo, Don, check this out. I said, yo, that could be Photoshop. He's like, yeah, it could be, but yo, come on. Now, shout out to all you college students. Shout out to all you fraternity brothers and sorority sisters. Shout out to you. You guys are what I call the official sneaky people in the black community. You know how to keep secrets. You do things on the low low, and you do things and only put your people on. So you guys are definitely, can be called gatekeepers. Even though you got good intentions and things like that, it's easy to look at you as gatekeepers because of how what you did. The pledging, you pledge allegiance to something. And she pledged allegiance to something. Then she's in all the way to the the big house. My whole thing with sororities and fraternities, because I almost pledged Kappa. I almost pledged Kappa, but something on the inside spoke to me. Was like, dude, because I went to one of their smokers. I went to a smoker or two. It wasn't even like I wanted to, join it. They wanted me to join, so they was like, come on, come down to a meeting or two, see what it's about. And then they was trying to recruit me in. Hang with them cats for 2 days made me say, fuck y'all goofy ass niggas. This is so not me. And you don't need me around because I'll make every person say I'm not fuck with this. All right, so being a AKA, like I said, I was gonna pledge that Kappa. Kappa is the pretty boys and AKA is the pretty girls. Pink and green. For her to pledge that and running around front, and I'm not really like I say, the way she talks, she don't talk to my soul. And I believe that she will be one who would allow companies, corporations that she know are known sexual predators to still exist. I don't see her as taking anything down that she knows is sexually dysfunctional to society. Sean Combs helped her with her campaign. She knows Sean Combs is about a certain life. If she would just do it for the money, I'm not cool with that. I like a person who's willing to walk away from the table at a heartbeat, as opposed to a person who's sitting there at the table trying to negotiate, knowing they're negotiating with the devil. You sitting there trying to transform and negotiate with the devil, thinking that you might be able to change this devil, but you're sitting there negotiating with the devil, as opposed to like, yo, okay, this is the devil, I'm out. This is going to lead down the road of demonic shit, I'm out. And so I don't think that she would be one that will leave the table knowing that the dead devil's at the table. I think that she would serve the devil dessert. I heard Trump say that if China's not willing to, negotiate and go by this, he would leave them at that table. While everybody else suggests that we sit there and ass kiss a third world country. No. So when it comes down to protecting these children, it's weird because of all these years, let's say the last 20 years, in the last few years, since this dude Trump has been in office, you've been hearing so much about child trafficking and saving these kids and getting them out of the tunnel, getting them out of trailers and getting them out of these cargoes and shit like that, saving hundreds some kids. You've been hearing that. You've been seeing the movies about it. You seeing this shit more like I say 30 years ago when I was paying attention to it. 35 years ago when I was paying attention to it, and now looking down, I was like, this future is gonna be deep. And I was thinking of the future. And now you're looking at the people and the players of this future, and you're seeing their parts in position. You're seeing the movie Taken. You're seeing everything that's in our face. You saw Invasion of the Body Snatch. You've seen all this shit. You've seen all these movies. Now you put it all together. You see real life. You see who's in the limelight. You see who's running for office. You see what they stand for. And you got to know that it's time for you to stand for something as well. So for everybody who's just running elections and who's going to go vote, I'm talking to those people who are voters, people who's going to go vote. I'm begging you not to go vote ignorantly. I'm begging you to vote accordingly. How could you know what? This is how I'm gonna put it. And this is gonna sound maybe stupid. This can sound foul. This can sound whatever way it's gonna sound, but as a woman, I would feel much greater. I would feel much more proud. I would feel much more love for the first president to be that's going to be a woman, to actually be a mother, have children, and also represent me. So if she gonna be black. I want her to represent what blackness is. I want to see a black husband. And even in the world itself, as the viewers, the people, if it's the first black president, wouldn't you want to see her with a black husband? Now, like I say, I don't care if it sounds. I don't care. I didn't say that first, but I said what I was going to say. Don't sound this, that, and that. But wouldn't don't you think the majority of the world would rather see the first if she we gonna have a female president and the female president will be black? Don't you think that the world would rather see them in a traditional black family as opposed to have to tippy toe around various things because of they don't want to be too sentimental to various sides? I mean, I'm just really keeping it 1,000 right now. Wouldn't it be? Now, I don't know what went wrong or what's going on with that woman's body. I don't know, she wasn't able to have children or not. You know what I'm saying? God bless the body. God bless the women and their uterus and everything else. Ovarian cancer is real. You know what I'm saying? The ovaries, thyroids. Oh, my God. I can't imagine. My homeboy, his homegirl, she had to get thyroids, removed off her uterus or ovaries or something like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Watching her walk around the house was like painful. I felt like I need tiptoe and shit. But I don't know what happened with her health wise, but I believe that if we was going to her history, she probably had like two, maybe three abortions. Why has anyone ever asked Kamala Harris, did she ever have abortion? Has anyone ever asked her, did she ever did she ever get pregnant and lose a child, or saying that she just have problems health wise? Has anybody ever asked her about that her motherhood? And then we can really know and hear the real true Kamala. Because I don't see her as being for building true family structure. I don't see that. All my life of living, I just seen this dude in the spotlight. This wife, this child, that child, this wife, married. You always gonna hear married when you hear this dude. He was living the Playboy life for a hot second, but married ASAP. He always had got protected. See, women are men's protection. Should I say, a wife is a man's protection. A girlfriend is a man's protection. A boyfriend is a woman's protection. A husband is a woman's protection. We become protectors from the predators, and so and your family, your immediate children will become your protection as well because it keeps you away from certain things of yourself. It keeps you away from yourself doing the wrong things. So my thing is, let me remove this shit. People, I think I'm really supporting it. Unplay message. I can't really see what's on the screen with this shit. I forgot it was plugged up there. So in regards to the Trump and Kamala Harris for president shit, my thing is this: if you believe in if you believe in family, if you one who loves your parents, love your siblings, love your uncle, love your aunt, then you should listen with one your the ears and hear those people who speak about that. If you are one who say fuck life, fuck people. Um, it's a dog eat dog world. Everyone for themselves. I want to be the first to get this done. I want to be the first to do that. If that's your belief, then you go. You listen to who speaks in that tone, and that's the way you go. But then you gotta think, damn, am I a messed up person? Because when it comes to these childhood stars, would I have a blind ear and eye to what's going on because I'm getting a good check? Because the ones who like fuck, freak this and freak that, those be the ones who have a blind ear and a blind eye to all the corruption that's taking place with these little kids. And you gotta remember, they look for those who are abused. That's why they want to. That's why they making mental health a real issue, because they want to find out stories of everybody, and they want to sort out those people who's hurt. They want to sort out the new people who's going through crises. They want to sort through the people who's been touched and molested and sexually abused, because they have a position for these people, whether it's to be treated on their drugs, okay, whether it's to be ministered to them through their therapy, or a combination, or to abort the children so they can use it for what they use them for, sacrifice. But they are looking for these groups of people. That's why mental health is really a big thing right now, because they want people to be depressed, because they have billions of pills to give to you. And folks, these pills have side effects, and the side effects will lead to dementia, loss of memory, because they want to prey on individuals. They prey on you, and you got to protect yourself from yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to this whole election thing, so when it comes to you and this whole election situation, I want all you folks to realize that this election is election for the children. This election is not really for you and I. This election is election for the future of how the direction that we want to see for our children. And if this is not, if this election, the ones who are being chosen and put out there are not speaking and not displaying and showing family values, then folks, know that you're looking at the wrong person. What is true family values to me right now? Pushing, promoting respect and love. That's what's needed right now. The person said, "Can I turn my cap backwards?" Want me to cut my head online, facial hair online too? Matter of fact, I might do that. Got a good light right there. I might do that. But anyway, so as they say, Harris for 2024. Yeah, I just got the biggest peanut from the back of my mouth. Shout out to paydays. I'm in love with paydays. So I just want to go into this real quick. When it comes to allowing certain things, allowing the sex trafficking to go on, allowing these stories to go on, my thing is, why no politician? Who, what politician day and age has been discussing this topic since day one of them really coming across it and being steady on it. What state senator, what mayor, what governor, what city councilman, what a state assembly person has been talking about child trafficking, human trafficking, sexual abuse for like the last 10 years? Now, in the last 10 years, this is what, 2024. 10 years from there, 10 years back is 2014. 2014, I don't believe that Trump was in office, right? No, he wasn't. I don't believe that he was running for office at 2014. Okay? So he does not count in what I'm saying right now. In the that last 10 years, because in that 10 years from then, when he became president, it seems as if a lot of this shit is out now. That's what, understand what I'm saying? A lot of this shit seems to be conversation now. My question is, what state representative, city representative, federal representative, what federal agency has been going about this, that's been spearheading this and been on top of this for like the last 10 years? Childhood stars, sexual predators, and saving them. Who has been the, like Umar Johnson would say that he's been for the 10 years the therapist for saving these young kids from pills. He said he's been saving them for 10, 15 years. No other person has been doing it more than him. So he's claiming that. Who can claim that they have been speaking out and fighting for the justice and injustice of these folks who's been victims of this crime? And I'm talking about like what newspaper has been talking about this? Sexual predators in the industry. Because Corey Hames, or was it Corey Feldman? One of the Corey dudes from License to Drive. One of those Corey boys from the Lost Boys. See, I remember the couple of movies. I remember some of their movies. They was lit in the time, and I can just imagine they was Predator on. Because when you be making these little white boys look like they little girls, that's when you know they something went wrong with them. Especially when they just going with it. And they've been speaking about it. So since they came out, since that boy got killed, since this situation has been going on, have they been hiding it? Have the politicians been hiding it, covering up, or who has been speaking about who up in the? It's been plugged up in the outlet for all that time. I don't know why it's not charging, but I'm just going to end the live so it can end properly. So thank y'all for your listening ear. And if we're going to get any justice, we're going to have to pressure the next president to really focus on this issue right here of the underground sex trafficking, underground human trafficking. We have to make sure that the president is focused on that. You know what I'm saying? It's more, unless they talk about the rights of women, I want them to talk the rights of children. So we want to talk about childhood stars. Shout out to all those kids who have talent. Shout out to the parents who is channeling that talent and harvesting it in a way that can grow and to become a great crop. We love and respect you all. I just want to say thank you for watching this, tuning in, staying with me as I cut on and off. I apologize, but when it comes to this election, let's get these presidential candidates and the next president to focus on protecting and saving our children, because this is A hard one, folks. Childhood stars, you know what I'm saying? Protecting our childhood stars from predators. I want y'all to understand that. Protecting childhood stars from predators and not overprotecting them, making a person be a predator when they're not. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we a situation that's not the situation. So please don't be like that. But we must protect our children from sexual predators. And most sexual predators is your alphabet folks. They like if there's a man and he like little boys, he's like for the alphabet group. So we gotta watch anything and everyone who supports this alphabet group to that level of where it becomes a problem. Thank you for your listen here, your support. If that offends anyone, if anyone is bothered by it, then maybe you need to look in the mirror and have that deep conversation and find out, you know, is this lifestyle really right? But Oprah, they say she's a predator, right? She got the school for kids. She never been married, no children. Hmm. Hmm. Oprah and Harris. We need to really talk to them about that right there. And you know, what's their take on this human trafficking and sexual predators? We really need to find out what Oprah has to say about that because Oprah is trying to get Harris in office. Why? Because Harris is going to sign off on various things to keep everything. Shh. Thank you for your listening ear. Shh. Your listening ear, your support. Shh. That's not what we need to do. We need to be boisterous and we need to fight and protect our kids from these childhood predators. Oprah Winfrey, now think about it. I wasn't even talking about it, but before I'll get off, come on, man. Come on, man. Anything that Oprah do and touches always backfires, and it seems that right now she's in the hot seat in the spotlight, and I never liked her. And right now, if she supports Harris and trying Harris in office, I can't co-sign with that. Because Oprah Winfrey might go down in history as a beast. Thank y'all for your listen here, your support. Yo, like I say, yo, let me get this unpinned real quick before I leave the channel. Yeah, that ain't supposed to be up there. Yeah, you know what? I ain't got no oil. I got shea butter. So we're gonna put some shea butter on. Look like my lips are white. Shea butter up. We're gonna shea butter up. So yeah, thank y'all for your listening here, your support. Peace, 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 peace.